Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. I am unfortunately sick, so we'll see how much energy I have to do things, but I am feeling... I wouldn't say I'm feeling a little better than yesterday, but my throat doesn't hurt as much, so I should be able to talk. Anyway, I was just looking at the angles that I've been working on, and found a couple of areas that I wanted to fix as usual. But yes, with me being sick, we'll see how much energy I have and how far I can go today. But with any luck, I will at least be able to finish my left turns. For this one strand here. Since I do think I have them just about finished. I swear, it feels like every time that I plan to do some kind of game stream instead of an art stream, that I get sick. Like, within a few days. The timing has been impeccable. I swear, it must be cursed or something. The universe is out there telling me, don't worry about video games, just make more art, man. I do not plan to listen to the universe for now, because I do like playing games. I actually went to school for game development. So, video games have been a large part of my life. The only reason I don't play more, time factors aside, is just that I haven't really liked the direction that the industry's been moving in. And it feels like a lot of games include a lot more busy work checklist stuff. I mean, that's not to say that those things didn't happen when I was growing up. I can think of some pretty wild things that games wanted you to do. But I do feel like as video games have become more... Is mainstream the word I'm looking for here? I don't know, but it's what I'm going to use. But as they've become more mainstream, it's felt like they're more trying to appeal to the baser parts of human psychology as opposed to actually doing something interesting. And by that I mean... Let me explain this with an example. I remember when MMOs were becoming popular because the internet was becoming stable enough and fast enough to actually handle them. And throughout all of that, we got a lot of games that, rather than try to capitalize on multiplayer stuff and, you know, what makes people work together, what makes people have good times with each other, and a lot of those things, or even just solid game design, they started appealing to a Skinner box mentality. It's like if you've ever participated in discussions around MMOs, I'm sure you've heard that term. And that's kind of what I mean when I'm talking about appealing to baser human psychology. We know that... We know what levers we can push in people's brains now in order to achieve certain results. And people have been trying to push those harder to try to, you know, get more money out of people, or just potentially even make people feel like they're getting their money's worth without putting in any actual effort. And that kind of thing can be fun when you're newer to video games, but as you start seeing it over and over and over again, it just kind of gets samey and dull. And I've played a lot of video games, so I've reached the point where I can just no longer enjoy those kinds of things for the most part. Sometimes I can. I mean, I'm still human. I still have a human brain. I can't stop that. But it doesn't have the same appeal for me anymore, and so I've been enjoying games a lot less in recent years, and kind of makes me glad that the indie sphere is becoming larger and game development is becoming more accessible to people, so hopefully we'll see some cool things again. just from people that want to make stuff, as opposed to people that are trying to make as much money as possible with as little effort as possible. That's ultimately why I started with art streams. Even though I do have a background with video games, and I have been playing them for quite a long time, and I know enough. I mean, I even occasionally use a very pretentious word to describe myself, known as a ludologist. I don't mind the term ludology. Some people have rolled their eyes pretty hard at it, but I think that there needs to be some word to describe the study of games. And we can't use game theory because somebody else took that already and it means something else. So ludology it is. But yes, I do actually study games and how people play them and stuff like this. I find it all very interesting. I actually wouldn't mind doing some series where I actually talk about the design of certain games. I've been actively considering doing that for Outer Wilds because I love that game. It is great. It is fantastic. So yes, I will not be listening to the universe as it continues to make me sick every time I plan a game stream. I will indeed still carry on with that, and, you know, I wouldn't say I'm feeling great today, but I'm not feeling bad enough that I didn't want to stream like the last time I got sick, so that's a plus. So I'll probably, unless things get a lot worse today, I probably will still be playing Subnautica tomorrow. Because I've been looking forward to it. I have been wanting to play that game for a while. Somehow I have managed to avoid spoilers for like 10 years, but that's, just because I'm not really in a lot of game communities right now. Upside means I can play older games without risk of spoilers, so there we go. There are pros and cons. Alright, I think I fixed everything over here now, and I can carry on with my bottom turn. Oh yeah, I was just noticing that when I went all the way up and down, that there were some spots up there that looked a bit funny, so I thought I'd fix them while I was up there. Wait, while I was up there? No, I mean, I just figured I'd fix them. I wasn't up there, I was working on the lower left turn. This is what happens when you stream while you're sick, it's fine. I'll just be a little out of it. It's totally fine. I'm definitely gonna want to go back over, like, all of this when I'm no longer sick. Just to make sure that my sick brain actually got everything and didn't miss something obvious. 'Cause it can do that. And even so, as I look at this more, I keep finding just more small things that I want to touch up. There was just something about the shape of the swoop here that wasn't quite agreeing with me, so I figured that I'd touch that up. Okay. I think it's okay. So, back to the lower left. Well, I wet my nose there. Sorry about that. Probably gonna be a little bit sniffly. But I took a bit of medicine, so hopefully it won't be too bad. Okay. Firstly, I'm just very amused by the timing. I schedule a gaming stream. Get sick the next day. The universe has a sense of humor. Sometimes all you can do is laugh at it. So remember when I left off down here, I was working on this outer strand. I had hoped to finish it, but man, I was just too tired. I needed a nap. Feeling a little bit better today, though, so let's see what I can do. I was noticing that some of these vertices felt like they were being pulled down a little bit. Mostly just in the shape, or not the shape, but it felt like the line here was being pulled down a little bit. And given the proximity to her face here, I really want to get this nice and smooth. Okay, yeah, I think that fixed up that line there. How are we doing up here? Because I remember I had a fair bit of trouble with things right up here, too. So let me double check that. Just gonna take things slow and really check things over, because I think my brain is moving at maybe half speed today. But you know, some days are just like that. It's fine. Pretty much every time I'm not feeling my best, I always emphasize that even if you're not feeling your best, you can still do something interesting for the day. If you got some creative project that you're working on, you know, just poke at it a little. Do your best. A little bit of progress is better than no progress. Because, I mean, even though I've been kind of sick, I had a really big revelation about a character for the comic I've been working on yesterday. And now I think I should be able to make some fairly solid progress, and I'm feeling a little bit better. I think people misunderstand what inspiration is, you know. Inspiration is just that. Sometimes there's a spark, and everything is just flowing, everything is working out, everything feels great. But those times, they can come randomly. I'm sure for the average person, inspiration feels very random. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can kind of set yourself up for it. And sometimes when you have the proper inspiration, you can skip steps. And because everything is just working, and it feels great. And everything makes sense, and you can just chug out words like you wouldn't believe, or make art like you wouldn't believe. And everything just feels like it's going your way. But I have found that the best way to make those times happen is to do the work, and then, you know, go through things step by step, work on what you know, and then something eventually will just make sense, and everything will start flowing. And that's at least a way you can kind of cultivate a degree of inspiration. Because an idea will come to you, and your brain will just be like, oh, I like this. Let's keep doing it. And it'll make you happy. And it'll make you want to keep working, and more ideas will come because of that. So you can totally force inspiration. Just gotta keep exploring the world and approach things with curiosity, and most importantly, keep doing what you want to do, even when it's hard. And that is why I am here, still working on my art stuff, even with a runny nose and kind of a sore neck, and a brain working at about half speed. It's fine. I can do something, and I really want to do it, so I am here. Soon I will get to those body turns, and it will be fantastic. My brain cannot decide how thick the strand should be over here. It keeps going back and forth on whether it wants to be thinner, or what angle everything over here should be at, or if it should be thicker. Here, give me just a moment. I need to blow my nose. Ah, much better. Okay. Now I should not need to just keep scratching at my nose. Okay, what was I doing? I don't remember, so let's just go ahead and let her nod a little bit more, and then I'll figure out what I want to change again. It's like right here, right there, just not cooperating. It's a small thing, so if it wasn't so close to her eyes, I may not be this picky, but it is this close to her eyes, so here we are. I'm gonna be picky. I will find the right place for this vertex here. It is out there, I know it is. It cannot hide from me forever. Just gotta seek it out. Let's see if the mesh has some good ideas for me here. See if that got it. It's really close. Is that like here? Maybe. Yeah, maybe just a little bit too much of the line is showing there. Yeah, and I have this issue up here too that I just somehow never noticed. Like I said, it was a fairly small issue, so I can kind of forgive myself for not thinking it was a big deal when I was working on it up here. But I do think that it is worth getting just right. Eyes are right there, so anything that squirms here will be far more noticeable than it would be if it was further away from her face. That's why I say this area, and this little highlight next to her eyes there, it cannot hide from me forever. I will find my way through. It's alright, I think I got it this time. So I can start working my way down the strand, in theory. After the autosave decides to let me. Sometimes the little pauses from the autosave still surprise me. I feel like they shouldn't, but sometimes they manage to. The very top of that little loose strand of hair there. I just didn't feel like it was connecting quite properly, but now I feel like it's doing a lot better. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna carry on down that strand. I'm gonna make sure that this part is good, and then I think the next part I want to look at is this highlight. Because I want to get all that good before I move into the strand part. Yeah, and right here's still not right, so still got some work to do on the outer end as well. My brain wanted to try to make things a little bit thicker there, but I do not think that was the right choice. So I'm having to kind of go back on it all. For a second there, I thought I had a sneeze coming, but my body changed its mind. No sneeze here. I'm sure it'll come out in a very awkward way in a few minutes, but for now I'm just gonna, get that feeling when you thought you had to sneeze and then your eyes feel all funny. Would have just preferred to sneeze, in all honesty. Bodies are the worst, man. See, this is why I want to be a brain in a jar. Just give me a nice robot body. With good diagnostics. It's something that cannot be eaten by viruses and other microbes. That sounds pretty fantastic, too. Okay, I think that outer part is starting to look a little bit better. But once again, I feel like the line on the outer edge is moving a little bit funny. So I figured I would consult the mesh and see if it had any ideas why the line appears to be so confused. Looks like it has a couple of ideas. I appreciate it, mesh. Making my life easier at every step. Yeah, I can see a lot of squirming down here too that I will have to fix up, but I think I can do that later. It is not bothering me that much. And I guess while I'm in mesh mode, I will take a look at this side of the strand as well, which includes this little highlight. And I will see what I can do with that. Yeah, I'll just see if I can find everything the mesh has to offer here. And once I am pretty satisfied, then I will actually check things visually with the mesh off and see how everything is looking. Honestly, while I'm here, I might as well just go all the way down the strand. I know that I'm gonna have to do this someday, so why not literally right now? Now seems like a perfect time. Knowing me, I probably will have to consult the mesh again on this edge of the strand here, but that's fine. I can at least get it started. Okay, this seems like a fine enough place to start. So let's check things visually, see how I'm doing. Gonna zoom out a little bit more. Okay, not bad. I feel like that actually did pretty decently. I think there's like a couple of spots that I want to fix right over here. But everything else above here looks okay, at least. Let me double check the strand. Strand, I think I have to poke a little bit more. But I think I want to poke over here before I start going down here, just because this squirming is going to drive me nuts while I'm trying to do the strand. Okay, give me just a sec again. I've got to blow my nose again. Okay. There we go. Okay, feeling a little bit better after that. So now let's go ahead and just perfect this whole area. I think even before I go in and fix the couple of things that I saw here, I gotta fix this squirming spot here. It is too annoying while I'm trying to go into details. I mean, look at that. Just right here. Look at that thing squirm. Yeah. Okay. This is supposed to be like way up here. I'm not even sure how I got down that low, but I'm sure my past self had a decent enough reason for it all. I'm sure she was thinking about something. It just wasn't right. That's alright. I'll fix it all up now. Do it along with all the highlights up here. And that is definitely a mesh consultation spot. Okay. Gotta focus on getting those central vertices in the right place. Probably switch back and forth between making sure that they're horizontally aligned and vertically aligned. So there you can see that I was moving them up and down, and that's because I noticed a bunch of vertical alignment issues. And those are the kinds of things that can either make things seem squashed or stretched. So I wanted to grab those while I could see them clearly. Then the horizontal ones, I always have a little bit more trouble seeing the horizontal ones because they tend to just move things off to the side in a weird way. But sometimes I have a hard time telling which vertex it is. Like, do I pull this outer one or do I pull the inner one, for example, if I want to move something over here? And so the mesh can help with that too. In this case, I don't want the vertices to deviate too far from how I have things in my left turn, so I'm just kind of aligning it with that. So I'm just gonna see what the mesh has to say to me for a little bit. Pull things into the right place. And see what I can do. I'm gonna go all the way through this white part. And then I'll stop there and do all the strands at the end together. Okay, yeah, now things are not squirming quite as much in the mesh, so hopefully when I go actually check it with my eyes, everything will look a little bit better. Yeah, I still see some things I want to fix, but that is a lot better. And now I think I can freely fix everything over here without dealing with this part just squirming up a storm in my peripheral vision. So the thing I saw here was just like this part right there just needed to be a little bit thicker. But other than that, I thought it looked pretty okay. And this part right here might need to be thicker. But I'll check that. No, it's actually fine. That is pretty much how it should be. Okay, cool. I forgot that it just gets thick there and then randomly thin. I'm not actually sure if that's a good thing, but... Is that how it looks over here? It is, actually. Man, sudden sneeze. I'm glad I managed to be it in time. It's like, I swear, I clicked the mute button and then I just... violently turned my head a direction, so I was not even sure if I was able to hit the button in time. What can I say? I don't like sudden loud noises in my soft stream like this. As far as I'm concerned, sneezing has no place here. Okay, so once again, I am consulting the mesh to figure out how everything should be shaped down this little strand here, because it is time. There actually aren't a lot of vertices squirming here, so that's a good sign. I'm probably pretty close. I might have to do some of it visually. Let's go take another look without the mesh on. Which part was I not super happy with? Because I swear I remember there being something even before this part that's obviously squirming. Okay. No, I don't really see anything too wrong, both with and without the mesh, so that is a good sign. We'll see if I see it again when I zoom out. But for now, I'm just gonna follow the mesh's lead and gradually put all these little vertices into place. Find a nice little home for them all. And get them all to where they belong. I think an important part of getting this strand to look right is going to be figuring out where this vertex in particular goes. Because if you look at the mesh, this is when I go from 3 rows of dots, you know, the one on the outside, the one in the middle, and then the other one on the other side, down to 2, where I ditch the line in the middle and just have these 2 on the outer end. So figuring out where that happens, I think is going to be an important key to lining everything up well here. And after that, it's just a matter of getting all these guys into place here. Might take me a couple of tries. It typically does, but I'm having an even harder time than usual reading these things because my brain is working at, you know, probably like 50% capacity. It's fine. Alright, let's see how this looks. Let's see, I think if I fix things just a little bit on this top turn, then that'll be perfect. Let's take a look. Is it lined up here? I think it is. I think that's great. Okay. So my present self is happy with that strand. We'll see what the me of... well, not tomorrow, because tomorrow's Friday and I can be playing Subnautica tomorrow. But maybe the me of not being sick. We'll see what she thinks about all this. And we'll definitely make sure to scrutinize everything once I'm feeling a bit better. And I feel like I have my brain back. And it is no longer distracted by doing some subconscious things like figuring out where my white blood vessels have to go or, you know, whatever else the automatic part of my brain does. I'm sure it's doing its best. Okay, so now it's time to get into this side. I'm gonna kind of perfect this area now, and then I'll go get these 2 strands. So let's take a look. Okay. This little strand here. There's still something I want to fix on it. I just want to slide a couple of these vertices up. It was sliding a bit more than I like, but I think that should be enough to fix it. I'm gonna try not to get too fixated on it. Emphasis on try. My My brain just likes to... it just likes to fixate on the strangest things sometimes. Okay, gotta blow my nose again. Be right back. Okay. So what was I doing again? Right, the bottom of this highlight. Although, I'm gonna go back and forth for a second because I kind of like the way that this is getting a little bit bigger at that angle. That might actually look okay. Nope, nope. Okay. It was worth thinking about, but nah. Not quite working for me. There are some times when I can change the shape of a highlight like that. I did it quite a lot with the highlights up here, but I just didn't think it quite worked down there. Like, I think a little bit is fine. Even this, I think, is still a little bit too much. So I'm gonna keep adjusting those little vertices until I am satisfied. Okay, cool. Like, that part's good, and now, once I pull on the little vertex right here to pull this kind of dark line a little bit further back, I think that will get the rest. Let's take another look. Yeah, and I think that much of the highlight changing shape is probably fine. I'm still going in to fix something because I just felt like these vertices here were sliding down a bit, so I wanted to lift them back up. But besides that, I think that this is gonna be pretty alright. Okay, right here. Right there, still not quite doing it. It's okay, just about finding the perfect combination of all these things. Every vertex has its place, and its place exists relative to all the other ones around it, so when I change one, sometimes it makes it clear to me that I have to change another. And even then, because I have changed another, well, you know, I just gotta go in and change a couple of other ones. There's a bit of push and pull there, but I'll get it. I will find the right answer as long as I keep searching for it. Okay. So now I'm gonna shape the very bottom here, and that involves messing with some stuff on this strand and this strand. The very top of it. Just want to get it nice and round. Do everything I can to enhance the fluffiness of her hair. I really do love her hair. It's very pretty. That's why I've been spending so much time getting it right here. Because I do think it is probably one of the nicest parts of her art. Just that nice ombre. Okay, so this is where things are going to get tricky. Because I think the next step is going to be this brownish strand there. And yeah, definitely going to get tricky because what controls this also controls this. And if I want to get this into line, I'm going to have to really distort what I just put into place there. It's a bit unfortunate, so maybe I should have actually focused on this side first. Yeah, that actually makes sense. I will do that for my right turns. Do the brown strand before I fully clean up this area. Yeah, that order definitely makes more sense. I get the feeling I'm gonna have to clean up over here again. Yep, just a little bit. It's not looking too bad, but it's looking off enough that I'm gonna have to do something. And I do not think that the angle here of her hair is changing enough to make me want to make the shadow on this strand thicker. So I'm gonna try to make it about the same width. I think that'll be the first step of kind of perfecting this area. Okay, yeah, I think that's looking a lot better. And for the tips, I'm going to consult the mesh, because there's a lot going on there, and I can follow maybe half of it, as I am now. The joys of being sick. But it's okay, the mesh is here to save the day. Give me the rest of the information I need to make this look really good. And I will do my best. But you can see there's a lot of moving parts here. I maybe should have been a little bit more particular about the mesh in this area. Definitely good information for future me. Okay, yeah. I think I'm starting to get a feel for what I have to fix up here. There was just a lot that was off. But that is exactly why I wanted to go back and revisit these corners of all of these places. Because I could kind of tell that something was off with a lot of these strands, and I just wanted to give it one final, just real thorough look before I finish it and move on to the body turns. And I'm glad I did it. But I think this is the last time I want to do something like this. I think it's looking pretty good. I mean, at the end of the stream, the reason that I like to go around and just swing her head around wildly is so that I can see if something looks really, really off. Because when you swing her head around like that, just really fast, anything that feels wrong becomes a little bit more clear to me. Like, I think even after I get all this, I will do one last revisit to the top of her head. Because I think I might be over-exaggerating some of that in the upward turns. And the reason that I'm thinking this is because of something that I saw while swinging her head around wildly. I don't know what it is about swinging the head around crazily like that, but it definitely points out every single problem that you have a lot more thoroughly. Or at least in a way that I can notice it more easily. So I'll mention that again at the end of the stream, if I remember. And just pay attention to the top of her head. To this guy up here. This is where I see it the most. And maybe you'll see what I mean. Mostly in the upper turns. The lower turns look pretty okay. But I do think I might take one more visit there. But I think everything else is looking really good, and I don't want to go over everything with the super fine-tooth comb. I think the comb that I've been using to comb through things has already been pretty fine. Okay, let me just really stare at this last part here. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting it into place. Something about it still just feels wrong and I can't quite figure out what it is. The mesh is helping though. Mesh is doing its best for me. It's just unfortunately I am sick and it only speaks in triangles. So I have to translate into something that I can actually understand. Translation is much harder when you're not feeling well. Let me see, what am I seeing? What am I seeing? That is what I'm trying to figure out. It's one of those things where it's a little bit off, but it's not always easy to tell why. But I can recognize it. I can feel it. I can feel it all the way in my bones. This might be good. Let's take a look. I'm gonna hide her body for a second, just so I can see a little bit more easily. The white of her shirt is making it hard to see things. Okay, I think I see the problem. That is better than how I was feeling, 2 minutes ago. Gotta add a little bit more thickness here. I'm happy though. I think I have enough in me to finish off this turn at least. I'd say once again, the lower left is taking longer than the upper left, but I do not think that is a fair comparison right now. Because I did the upper left when I was not sick. So it's only natural that the lower left is taking a bit longer in these circumstances. Okay. Back to consulting the mesh. I think it still holds a few secrets for me. And I do find consulting the mesh helps with getting the edges of these strands looking good. Just because they're a bit more finicky. They know what they want, and if they don't get it exactly as they want it, things are gonna look wrong. It's very rude. But, at the same time, I can't fault the tips of her hair for knowing exactly what they want. Man, these vertices are going like every which direction. I'm just trying to replicate the angles here, and I'm like What the heck happened? Yeah, it's fine. As long as it looks good in the end, that's what matters. But it's okay, this is exactly why I consult the mesh. The mesh can tell me what little areas are just not quite the same as the areas nearby. I think I've almost got it. Almost! I keep telling myself this. But really, I do think it's almost there. But I want to give the vertices all the attention they need. I don't want to cheap out on them, just because I'm a little bit tired. That also seems very rude. Okay, let's see how that looks. See how Shalom's floating head is doing here. I realize at some point I'm gonna have to connect the neck properly. I haven't really done that. I'd say for the most part, the neck actually looks pretty okay, but on some of the upward turns, I realized that I drew it a little bit too short. Little bit unfortunate there, but I don't want to replace textures right now because I don't trust the program. I remember the last time I tried to replace a texture, it just crashed. And every time I tried to replace it, it just crashed. So I am just waiting for 0.9 in that regard. The developer said that she's working on making things a little bit more stable. Okay, I think this is fine. So now I'm gonna take a close look at this area, but I think it's also looking pretty okay. Does it need to be fixed? A little bit, like right there. But otherwise, I actually do think it is pretty okay. Alright, let's see if that fixed all the problems that I saw. No, it's still getting around right there. So that means this needs to come up like this. There's just this weird little dent right there for some reason. If anything, it might also be a sign that if this needs to be down here, then maybe this also needs to be up here. It's like I can move it from either direction. And get that effect. That seems fine. Alright, let's go ahead and check on this strand. And I think that'll be it for today, once I get that strand right. Although honestly, I don't think it looks that bad. There's definitely some things I want to change about it. but I don't think it's going to require that much. Need to make it swoosh a little bit more, so I needed to push all of those vertices down. Yeah, I think that fixed quite a lot of what I was seeing, so let's go consult the mesh one more time. Oh, I mean, it's probably going to be a little bit more than that, but it's the sentiment that counts, right? Just gonna go through and see what I can do here. Man, buddies are the worst. It's like my nose hadn't been running for a little while now. I thought that, you know, maybe it had gotten all it needed out there, and then I snort because I don't know. I was just laughing a little bit, and it came out my nose, and then my nose is like, release the floodgates. We have been given permission to start running again. It's like, no, you haven't. I just laughed. Stop it. Can't you wait like 10 more minutes? Just long enough for me to finish consulting the mesh here. Alright, just gonna perfect that nice little curl at the end. Then I think all will be well. But I do want to get that curl right. That is a nice little curl. And I want it to look very nice too. Okay. I think that should do it. Let's take a look. I will also check it against the bottom turn just to make sure, but if I have to make extensive changes there, I'm not sure if I have that in me. But yeah, up and down looks great. Look at that. Not very much wiggling at all. Alright, let's check the bottom. Okay, the length of the strand there is getting a bit long. That's not a huge change, so let's go ahead and see if I can make it look nice. I think I can get away with just scrunching up vertices a bit here. Okay, then a little bit right here. So hopefully such small turns will not cause big waves, or small changes will not cause big waves in my other turn. So I'm trying to be pretty gentle with it all. Okay, and it looks like it wants me to push things a little bit further down here, which I can get behind. Just curl this a little bit more nicely. And if I can get away with it, like there's that gap between the two strands there, if I can get away with just doing something like this. Let's see if I can. I'm gonna have to fix something there, but let's see if that's a little bit closer. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so maybe aligning it with the bottom turn ended up being a little bit more of an adventure than I thought it was going to be, but I think it's within reason. I think I can still do it. I just really hope that this all still lines up with my left view too. I will be sad if it does not. I laugh because otherwise I would cry. But it's okay, it's still just a theoretical. With any luck, all will be well. Oh, Vortex got clicked on. Okay. Oh. That was a bit more than I wanted. There we go. Just needed to be a touch lower. And then I think I need to thicken up the bottom part of this in order to get it to line up the way that I want, just like right there. And then thin out the top. All of these little things just work together in a very particular way. Okay, that seems pretty alright. And here the only objection that I have is that the end of the curl is a little bit too long. That is a very easy fix. So how's it doing now? Yeah, seems pretty good. I'm able to swing her head around nicely. So I think that is where I will stop for today. So we'll swing her head around and take a look at the top part, especially in the upward turns. That is like the only part that I'm not really super happy with that I've already done. So I might revisit that part after I do all the other things, before I go in and do the body turns. But I want everything else on before I do that. Oh yeah, up here and this. But I haven't done this strand yet, so that one's okay. Heck yeah. Look at her go. I think it looks really good. Very convincing. Yay! Okay. But I will stop here for today. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I'll see you all tomorrow.